I did think about the questions first, you know. So I've come along to the Proms office, where everybody's busily preparing for the Proms. Look, there they are, busily preparing. 3 things, lovely brochures. These are programmes from all of the prom concerts, right from the beginning. Not entirely sure whether I should be looking at this, but look here. Look at that. Look at that. 1895. I've come along to meet Roger Wright. I don't know, that would work, wouldn't it? He is the boss. Have met him before, and you know, affable.
As I said before, whatever I'm entirely in your hands.
He's already done a serious interview with Petrock Trelawney at somewhere else on the website. You know, be all right. Do you need to grapple with? Wanted to grapple with the key issues for me as a Proms fan. Go through some of the programme with him. Talk about some of the things that didn't quite work last year. It was quite possibly the most nerve-wracking experience I've ever had to go through, really. Yeah, it got off to a reasonably good start. What was your first Proms season like?
I have to say I enjoyed myself enormously. And I mean, I didn't know, obviously, how it was going to feel. I mean, having been to lots of Proms and lots of Prom seasons in the past, you just never quite have an idea about how it's going to feel.
So when did last year's season sort of begin, or indeed, when did this year's season start sort of being planned? How did that happen?
Oh, way before my time, because there's a sequence of planning which I suppose starts with visiting orchestras. So orchestras outside the UK and their touring plans, and we get proposals. We will inquire when particular orchestras or artists are on tour, and that might be 4 years out. And then there's everything between that and the frantic last-minute conversations that happen when the guide deadline looms.
But surely there are no frantic last-minute conversations. But surely these things are planned well in advance.
Well, the only thing you can
tell me they are.
The only thing you can be certain about is that by the time the Proms guide is published, it's already a work of fiction.
That studio they use on BBC Two looked like a bit of a hospital waiting room. And I'm just wondering whether you've got any plans to do anything about that. I didn't think he walked to that particular line of questioning.
I don't recognise it as looking like a hospital waiting room.
I think it did. It was very grey, very sterile, with some ill thought out watercolours in the background and plasma screen in the middle. It just didn't really work for me.
Because some of the Proms on BBC Two were not live, then they wanted to try and give a consistent coverage of it, which is why they went into the studio, because then when you're live you can cut back into the hall. When you're not, you've still got the same view, so it feels like it's on BBC Two. Did it work? Well, some elements of it worked, but I think also, hand on heart, a lot of colleagues having reviewed it said it didn't quite work. The presenters themselves said that they felt rather removed on the live ones. They felt rather removed from the hall, and it was hard for them, particularly on the opening night when they were getting used to it, to pick up actually how it felt and pick up the atmosphere. And you're going from a really vibrant and enthusiastic hall, packed, yes, into a more cold studio space. So it's not going to happen this year. It's going to be back in the hall, and there we are.
It does feel a little bit like we're marking your homework, frankly, because obviously you've spent a long time working on this. But I do have a list of problems with this year's Proms.
How many are there on your list?
There are 1, 2, 3. There might be 15 Proms that I have an issue with, and it's only a personal thing.
Which out of 76, yes. And you haven't included. Have you included the chamber Proms in your?
There's one chamber Prom that I have a major problem with.
So it's far more than 76.
Yeah,
because
on the whole, you've done very well.
Because it's 95. So 15 out of 95. I'm just
yes. There's a lot of handle in this year's Proms. Why is that? Handle's quite boring. It's really bad. Shouldn't have said that.
You'd like me to apologise?
I'd like you to apologise now
yeah.
for all the handle and actually Haydn, Purcell. I don't really see the point in them I just think it's going to be really dull. It's going to be really dull.
I should put you in touch with a Radio 3 listener who wrote to me some while ago to ask me to explain Radio 3's anti-handle policy, which I thought was an interesting take.
Right.
I don't think, as you can see, we've got an anti-handle policy this year.
Quite
Indeed,
the opposite,
we've never had one.
No.
Just to be clear about that.
Okay.
But I suppose I should sort of say this once, so that if there are any other similar issues you've got with other composers, I can then just refer you to the previous answer.
I see. Okay, right.
Which is that we can't possibly cater to every single member of the audience's likes and dislikes, and to avoid Handel, dare I suggest, in a significant year for him, might have been seen by other members of the audience to be sort of rather odd.
I realised that you've just got to try these things, and that maybe by just trying it you might possibly enjoy it. There's something else that I've got a problem with: music from the reign of Henry VIII. Whose idea was that? Is that your idea? Really, that's really going too far.
And you know a lot of that music, do you?
I don't know any of it, but it just strikes fear of God in me.
It may not be that terrifying, and you might find some of it rather attractive. And Cardinals Music is a fantastic group.
Major clanger in the interview. I just think it's Baroque music.
Well, it isn't.
Isn't it? Oh.
Well, it's earlier than Baroque, isn't it?
Really should have known that, or if I didn't know that, I should have done the research. Didn't do the research, made myself look like a fool.
Well, it's earlier than Baroque, isn't it?
Okay, you're not selling it. You're not selling it. Yeah, it's earlier than Baroque, so therefore you'll be all right, John.
Well, just because I know you've clearly got some issue with Baroque music, so I'm trying to find a way in for you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to cover?
Whatever. There'll be loads of things I haven't mentioned, but
okay. I don't know whether the cameramen got it, and I do hope they have, but it did have smashing pink socks on.
Like 3 or 4, doesn't it?
Yes.
Have you